Hi, I'm Ryan Lockett.
And I'm Brenna Asplund.
So we wanted to show you in detail more of the location book and the combat in Song of Silveranth. So we're gonna go through some of the new things. One thing to keep in mind, this is the most updated version of the game currently, so it doesn't match exactly some of the other videos that have been posted because we're currently in development on the game.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so Brenna and I are going to show you some combat on the most recent location book. This book is a little different than what are in all the preview copies because we're actually in the middle of developing the game. So we've set it up here. I'm going to play as Zernzig the Gremlin. Brenna is going to play as Ven. And so let's say we had just opened this book and it'll tell us what to place. So we've got these Tresimo soldiers, and everywhere that we've got a little triangle, we'll put a soldier. And if there are more players, we would put more. Like over here, there's like a three little dots and 4 little dots, so you'd place more soldiers on those places. Also, the Silver Guardian, this is actually not the final art for the Silver Guardian, but I have it, so we're going to use it. Everybody can go in whatever order the players decide. So there might be a reason why one player might go before another, and so you can talk to each other about that. But first, players roll stealth if they want to try to hide. My goal with these location books is to give you sort of your own way of approaching it. Maybe you're going to approach it in a sneaky way. You're going to sneak around and get things, and you know, I'm always thinking of open world video games. You know, when I'm playing those, like, you know, I might play as more of a sneaky character where I go in the shadows and just try to find things. Maybe I don't want to fight every enemy, you know, but you can also play very straightforward where you just run in and fight things. So that's why you can do stealth. And then you can move 0 to 3 spaces. You're slower if you're moving, if you're hiding. And then you can choose between these actions. You can either attack, you can interact with an action on the board, or you can move again. So we're going to do that right now. So let's start with Ven.
Okay. So a few different options I could have on this turn. If I wanted to try to grab some useful stuff before the fight, I could try to use a rope to climb up on this platform to get some armor. But I know we don't actually have a card ready for that yet, so that wouldn't actually benefit me right now. So instead, I'm going to try to jump into the fight. I can move up to 3 spaces. So I am going to move 1, 2, 3. And again, I could theoretically just hide here because this is a spot that gives you a bonus to stealth too, and then I wouldn't be attacked the next round. But there's also no real benefit to that because I'm going to have to attack at some point anyway. So I'm just going to shoot the Silver Guardian.
Okay.
With my ranged weapon.
So let me talk about ranged for a second. You can shoot up to 3 spaces with ranged weapons. If you shoot at an enemy that doesn't have a ranged weapon, they don't attack you back, which is a nice thing. You also have to think about line of sight, and the quick rules about that is line of sight, you can shoot through the white lines, the boundary lines. If there's something that blocks those lines, then that blocks line of sight. And then these obstacle lines here, see this dotted line? You can shoot through one of those lines, but you can't shoot through 2. So the idea here is this is a platform that you could climb up with rope. So if you're on top of it, you could shoot down, they could shoot up, but you couldn't shoot through it.
Yes, which is why I've gone around it here.
Yeah.
And since I can shoot things up to 3 spaces away, if we count here, that's 1, 2 spaces.
Yeah.
And I can still shoot them even though it's diagonal.
Uh-huh.
And to shoot, I need 3 dice to start.
Oh, yeah. So you're going to use this weapon right here, which is a flintlock rifle, silver flintlock rifle.
Yep. So because of that number 3 there, you know I have to start out rolling 3 dice. Okay, and I got 2 hits and 1 blunder. I can put the hits over here and the blunder there.
A 1 through 3 is a blunder, and a 4 through 6 is a hit.
Yep. And if I can get up to 20 here, I could get a critical hit. And I've already got 10, so that's actually a pretty good way towards that. At this point, I had to roll the 3 dice to start out with, but I can choose to keep rolling. So I think I'm going to roll
You can roll one at a time.
more one at a time here. Let's see how it goes.
And every die here, every hit, that's 1 damage. So currently she's dealing 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. She could stop there, but she doesn't need to. She can keep going. She can kind of push her luck.
Yep. So let's see. Oh, another 6. Ooh, that's bringing me real close to that crit. Oh no, I knocked my other 6 over, but I think the new one was also a 6.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So you did it.
Instant crit, so I did it. Okay, so that's 4 plus 2 damage for 6, and then the critical hit is another 7.
Yeah.
So I did
So you got 13.
13 damage, and the Silver Guardian only has 15 health. So I'm actually pretty close to killing the Silver Guardian here. I do have one more thing I can technically do on my turn, because playing these cards is like a free action. And also, once per location, Ven has the special ability to deploy one of his Sparrow Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm going to send my Sparrow Dragon, Phoenix, to go hang out with the Silver Watcher. And then I'm going to use this card that deals 3 damage to the assigned enemy where Phoenix is.
Okay.
So that deals another 3 damage.
So that's...
And the Silver Guardian is taken out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's awesome. Because the Silver Guardian too, he has Protector. So all damage, if we tried to hurt this guy, who actually deals more damage, this soldier, it would the Guardian takes all of that damage. So we've gotten rid of him. We can take care of the Oh, and the Guardian doesn't hit you back.
Yes, because the Guardian isn't ranged, which is part of why I chose to attack the Guardian instead of the soldier, even though the soldier would theoretically be easier to kill. But I got really lucky with those dice rolls and managed to
yep, that was super
kill the
lucky.
Silver Guardian anyway, so that was a really good move.
Okay, now when Brenna uses a ranged weapon, see this says reload. So we have to put a token on here because it takes her a whole turn to reload. It's a really great, powerful weapon, but it does take an entire turn to reload. Okay, so now I'm going to decide what Zernzig is going to do. He's going to, I think he's going to move up to this platform. Now to get up here, he has to use a rope token. Now let's say we didn't have a rope token. There's actually, down here I could go get it, but I'd have to unlock this door. But luckily I do have a rope token. I'm going to use that to climb up here. And instead of opening this chest to get the armor, I think I'm going to attack down at this soldier. So actually, before I attack though, I'm going to use this vial of acid and throw it down to this area, and any enemy units down here would each take 2 damage. So he just automatically takes 2 damage. And let me also mention at this point that we are looking at different ways of tracking enemy health. There might be a board where you track the enemy's health, or there might be specific spots on the location book where you track each enemy's health rather than move the health with the enemy. So now I'm going to use, I have a ranged weapon actually, I'm going to use my crossbow, the rogue's crossbow here. So my initial roll has to be 2 dice. Oh my gosh, so I got two
Oof.
blunders. Unfortunately.
That's rough.
Yeah. But we'll just keep going. Oh, okay, we got a hit. All right. Yeah, that was close. Let's keep going. Oh, nope. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7, at 7, that meets or exceeds the soldier's defense rating. If your blunder value reaches their defense rating, then you miss completely. Now I could do a few things to try to fix that. Like I could spend some hope. If you spend 3 hope, you can reroll any die. Often there are other ways to reroll dice. You can spend a rope to reroll dice. There are different ways to mitigate the luck. But I think in this case, I'm just going to accept my fate, say I missed, and move on. So I do no damage. Now, I would be safe if this guy did not have a ranged weapon, but he does, so he shoots right back at me and I take 4 damage. So instead of taking the full 4 damage, I'm going to use my armor. I have this armor here. I can block 3 of the damage, so I'm going to do that, and I only take 1 damage. So, yep. Threw down the acid, tried to shoot him with my crossbow, missed, and he fired back. And that's the end of the character phase. So now it is the enemy phase, and on the enemy phase, each enemy moves 3 spaces toward visible characters, which are characters that are not currently, using stealth, and then they attack. So this guy, let's see, he could move around and climb up this rope and try to attack me, but he's actually going to move here because this is closer. So he moves straight over to Ven and attacks immediately and deals 4 damage.
Yep. And I'm just going to take the 4 damage.
Okay. This guy's behind a locked door, so he does not move. This guy, however, does move. 1, 2, 3, and he can shoot Zernzig. So Zernzig takes 4 damage. Okay, that's the end of the enemy phase. At this point, we could actually retreat. We could leave the location if we wanted to. Maybe things are looking kind of scary. We feel like we couldn't defeat everybody. Or maybe we've already got everything we need here. Maybe we sneak around and get some stuff. You don't always have to defeat every enemy in the location book. But I don't think we're quite done.
No, personally, I'm feeling very confident after proving what a better shot I am than Zernzig.
Yeah, I know, seriously.
But I don't want to spend a turn reloading my gun at this point. So I'm just going to attack the soldier in the same space as me using my spear. Okay, so my spear requires 2 dice for the initial hit. Oh, and I got 2 blunders immediately.
Okay.
So that's rough. But at this point, I might as well keep rolling because I'm not going to do any damage right now anyway. So let's see. Oh, no.
Okay, you might want to actually do a reroll.
Yeah.
With the hope, I think. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. That's a temp 1 reroll there. Okay,
Nice.
So there's 1 hit. I probably don't want to keep risking it. Although really I only get a full miss on a 3.
Okay.
So
That's
theoretically, it could be worth it to keep rolling.
It's
so
a 1
I'm
in
going to
6 chance.
try 1 more here.
Okay.
Okay. Well, 1, but that means I still get the 1 hit that I succeeded on. So I do only the 1 damage from the dice plus 1, so I do 2 damage.
Okay. So I'm going to use my throwing knife actually on this guy.
Well, and I've got to take the counterattack
that's right.
hit, which would be 4. I'm going to use 1 of my pieces of armor, so I'll only take 3 damage.
Okay. So I'm going to use this throwing knife. This is an adventure card, so this doesn't count as my attack. This is a free action. So it says roll a d6, and if 4 to 6, I deal 2 damage. So I throw it down at this guy, and I do it, so I deal 2 damage. Okay, we're getting close here. Unfortunately, I already tried using the crossbow, and I forgot to mark that that needs a reload too. So I can't use the crossbow again. I'm going to climb down here again. Now, if you're in the same space as an enemy and you move, they move with you. So I'll move here. I got 1, 2, 3. So now we're a big happy family in this space. And if we had any splash damage attacks, we could hit them both. But unfortunately, we don't. So I'm going to use this, which is my sword. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. 2 6s. We'll push our luck. Okay. 2. I'm still safe because his defense value is 6 or 7, I mean. Okay. We're almost to the crit actually. Oh my gosh, we got it. Okay, so I crit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. I don't have a bonus with this weapon, unfortunately. I do get a reroll, a free reroll though. And my crit does 6 damage, so that's 10 damage. I was actually aiming for this guy that was already hurt, so I way overhit this guy. He's gone, so he doesn't attack back. And that is the end of the player phase. And then this guy, since he's already here, he would attack. So let's just say well, oh my gosh. If he hits either of us, then we'll reach zero health, I think. Let's see, 4.
I did realize I missed that I get 1 block
Oh.
on my weapon, so I actually
Okay.
should only have that much.
Well, I want to show you guys this. So let's say he hits Zernzig. I mean, we would probably have him hit Ven at this point because neither of them would get to 0. But let's have him hit Zernzig. So he does 4 damage. Zernzig is down to 0 health because he only has 8. So he could only take 2 of it. So at this point, you would think, oh, he's out. He can't do anything else. Actually, no. What you do in this case is you draw an affliction card. Okay. So now Zernzig has an infected wound. And it says when you gain this card, restore 6 health. So I take off. Oh wait, I should have had, sorry, I didn't have 8 there. Okay. So I take off 6 damage. So this card also says if this is your 4th affliction, then you die. Characters can permanently die in this game. Unlike some of our previous open world games. Ven cannot die because he's the main character, but there'll be other consequences you have to deal with. But it does mean, though, I get this affliction card, and Zernzig, he heals 6, and he can keep moving around and taking actions. So it lets you be a little more flexible when you're exploring these places, and you can decide how far to push. Now, one way that you get rid of these is you can rest and swap characters. If you rest, you just get rid of 1, but if you swap characters, you get rid of all of them. So there's more of a motivation to let him go rest for a longer time, heal some of these afflictions, and give another character a chance to explore. So this one says recipes cannot restore your health. That is pretty painful, actually.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's the end of the enemy phase, and it would go back to a character phase. But I think we're going to stop here and just show you a couple of things that are on this location and some of the other locations in the game. Let's say you want to get through this locked door. So to do that, you would move down here and take a lockpicking action. So to do that, you roll 4 dice, okay? Now, every time you roll the dice, you have to keep 1 die. I'm going to keep the 5. Okay, and then re-roll these. Okay, I'll keep the 6. All right, and my goal is I'm trying to get to 20. Oh my gosh, okay. Now I could stop here, or I could keep going to try to get to closer to 20. If I stop, whatever the difference is between my value and 20, I take as damage. So where were we at? 12, 17, 18. So I would take 2 damage if I stopped here, which might be a good idea. Or I could push this further to try to get 20. If I bust, then I have to place an impossible lock token on this location. And then I can't pick the lock anymore until we leave and come back. Or I could actually bust through it with an endurance skill check. But it's a 10 endurance, and you take 8 damage if you fail. So it's actually really hard to bust through a lock. So I'm going to stop here, and Zernzig will just take 2 damage to open that lock. At this point, then this enemy here might start moving and attacking us now that this door is open. And there are some things I can do in here. I can get, this rope, and then there's a specific quest-specific treasure over here that we need. It won't actually say these things. It'll say probably a card number when you go there. One other thing I want to point out on this map is this symbol right here. This is like a hiding place, and it's easier to hide if you start your turn here. So if you're moving around in the dark corners of this map, like over here, maybe I want to sneak over down here where there's furniture to hide behind and more shadows and stuff like that. That gives you a bonus when you're rolling for stealth. And then, there are other things to do. You can do the skill check here to get this cursed relic and all sorts of other fun stuff. Okay, so this is another location, and I just wanted to show you really quick one of the things that you'll run into. There are intricacies, is what we're calling them, for these maps, and it's like an extra thing you have to think about that changes the rules of the map. So here, this place is on an island. It's like a ruined island, and there's thick fog. So when you attack with a ranged weapon at here, that 1 to 3 spaces away, the enemy defense rating is reduced by 1. So it's harder to hit things here, if they're further away from you, because the fog is just difficult to see through. Now this is another location. It's like a basement. It's a cellar of an inn, and this place has been sort of infested by these strange creatures. Now, there are a couple interesting things here. Like the intricacy here is that it's close quarters. So anytime when an enemy deals damage to a character, any characters in the same space also take 2 damage, because you're just really close to each other and just hitting each other, and weapons are flying all over the place, and it's a little more deadly. The other thing I want to point out is the difference in the defense rating between some of these enemies. So when you step in here, the first thing you run into is going to be this Hermit Ingrat. Has a 7 defense rating, which is kind of a standard defense rating. You might use this weapon, the rifle. You have to roll 3 dice, but you probably won't miss with those 3 dice. However, this guy, this Candle Skull Screamer that's right here, he has a 3 defense rating, and you definitely would not want to use something where you had to roll a lot of dice. So you might actually be better off using the dagger, because you only have to roll 1 die as your initial roll. So that means you're only going to miss on a 3. But if you started out trying to hit it with this rifle, because it's just so hard to hit, okay, so I didn't hit it there, or miss it, I mean. But here, I've already missed it, because I hit 5 and I need 3 or greater to miss it. So that really gives you an interesting reason to carry different weapons. You might want to carry a dagger where you only have to roll, it's like a fast weapon, so you only have to roll 1 die to start out. And then to hit bigger and stronger things, you might want to use, like the rifle, or like a club or something that maybe deals more damage more easily, but you have to roll more dice on that initial roll, and so you have a greater chance of missing something. Usually, enemies with a lower defense rating also have lower health, so that gives you a real reason to use the dagger in this case.